Hello friends, welcome back to our Lexicon Ethics series for UPSC. Today we are going to talk about something very important, that is violence. Now, violence is not just about fighting or hitting people, okay? It's everywhere in the small or big ways and it affects everyone in the society. In this class, we will understand what violence really is and types of violence and around us, why it happens and its impact and how moral values can help stop it. And let's dive in. Okay, friends, let's start with what violence really means. Okay, the word comes from Latin, that is violentia, which means force. But it's not just about fighting. Violence can happen in three ways. Firstly, that is simple force, like someone pushing another person in a bus to grab a seat. Okay, for second one, excessive force. It is like a mob attacking one person brutally. Okay, third one, putting someone under constraint, like a rich or powerful person stopping a poor man from speaking. See, violence always has two sides. That is, someone does it and someone suffers it. Even small act like pushing someone are a form of violence. Now, types of violence in society. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it is hidden. There are cultural violence like teasing someone because they follow a different tradition, and also religious violence, that is riots and conflicts, and economic violence, that is forcing workers to work long hours for very little pay, and also media violence means spreading fake news to create hate, and group violence means mob attacks, and sexual violence means harassment of women, and political violence means booth capturing during the election. And violence has entered almost every corner of the life, whether in communities, workplace, schools, or even online. And so, what happens when violence spreads? First, people live in fear. No one feels safe. Secondly, peace will disappear. Okay, violence never creates peace. It only leads to more violence. For example, if one community attacks another, the another might take revenge. Then the first retaliates again. Okay, this cycle keeps repeating. People feel helpless and unsafe, and trust between communities dies. Now, why does violence happen? There are many reasons. Okay, that is moral weakness. When people forget right and wrong, and also lack of education. That is, uneducated people can believe rumors or hate speeches, and also unemployment. That is, young people with nothing to do may get dragged into violence, and also discrimination, like the caste system, which creates frustrations, and the poor government planning, that is, no jobs, housing, or facilities lead to conflicts. And the biggest reason, that is corruption. Okay, for example, political goons sometimes get saved by corrupt leaders, and then violence becomes routine. People start thinking nothing will happen even if I do wrong, and that makes violence grow. Okay. Now, importance of moral laws. That is, so what can stop violence? That is moral laws. Think of morals as the glue that keeps society together. When people respect truth and honesty, trust grows and society becomes safer. For example, if a bribery becomes normal, people stop respecting rules and even human life. Imagine a hospital selling blood only for money. That's not just a greed, it's violence against the humanity. So small acts of honesty and compassion protect society from violence. Okay. Now, finally, let's see what happens when morals decline. It becomes attitude becomes the careless. And today, sometimes animals get more sympathy than humans. If a dog is killed, it becomes big news. But if a poor man dies on the roadside, sometimes nobody notices. Okay. This easygoing attitude kills our conscience. People stop listening to their heart. Slowly, crimes and violence rises. So the real solution is to strengthen moral values in this society. Without strong values, laws alone cannot stop violence. Okay. So, friends, today we learned what violence really is, the different types in society, and why it happens, it impacts, and how moral values can prevent it. Remember, peace can never come from force or fear. It comes from respecting each other and doing the right thing. So, that's it. That's all for today's class. Next time we will continue with more interesting topics in ethics. And don't forget like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps me to make more simple and clear lecture for you.